I'm gonna talk to you about how I made my project, which was 3D printing. Um, and so basically, the first thing I wanted to do was just kind of learn how to play around and just play around with 3D printing and learn more about it. And so the first thing I did is, I watched a lot of tutorials and on 123Design, which is the application that I used for 3D printing, and so I watched a lot of tutorials on how to create shapes and text and anything in there. And so I made a rough keychain here for a friend, just kind of as a joke. And I'm going to show you here how I made it. So I had to, I don't know, it took me forever to find. It's hilarious here, but so I selected this prism and I just left it as a default of 5 sides. And I just dropped that down in there. And then once it was there, okay, I scaled it. Oh, I clicked the wrong button here. So I clicked on Smart Scale and I wanted to lower it down because obviously it's a keychain. So it's going to be a lot smaller than that. So I think I lowered it to 1/10 of an inch. Here in just a second, I'll get to it. There we go. And so you can see it might be even a little bit small. So there I got to 1/10. And the next step was to add some text. And it added in crooked there, but that wasn't any problem because all I had to do was, rotate the text here. So I clicked on it, moved it into the middle, and then rotated it. Got it to about even, and it wasn't going to be perfect, I know that, but I just got it to where I wanted it to be. And then I selected the text. I did what I call extruding, so I brought it out from the material that you can see there. So I wanted it to just be just a little bit higher, so that was a noticeable difference, and you can see that there. So the last step is punching a hole in it, right, for the keychain. So what I had to do is take a cylinder, and I had to make it skinnier. So I made a skinny one. And what I did is I put it through the middle, or the top, kind of the top, but I put it all the way through that the pentagon there, so I could cut the hole. And so the next step was to cut it out. So I went over to the tool and I subtracted it. And I think here I accidentally selected the wrong one and deletes the wrong thing, but I just Apple Z'd that. And so what I did is I subtracted and I clicked on that part I wanted to keep and get rid of everything that came in contact with, and there's my hole it cut. So that was the first thing I made, and then I didn't really know where to go after that. And an opportunity came up to make a keychain for a local run. And so I got this keychain template offline because I thought it was really cool, but the problem is it's got this name in it that I don't want. And so I had to fill that in. And so what I had to do is I drew a rectangle. I sketched a rectangle over the top of the letters there. And then I made that rectangle, I extruded it through to make it a solid object, but just at the bottom of it, so it just goes completely through, it'll be a solid object. And then I merged the two so that it would all become one. And so then you wouldn't see the letters. So I think I got it here. Oh, nope. Pretty sure I got it. Let's see. There. And so when I get rid of the sketch, it's just one complete solid block. And then so the next step was editing the text. And so when I put all of that on there, it became too small. And so I had to make a separate line for each one. I had to redo it. So when I got there, got the fonts I wanted, placed it there, and got the date in here in just a second. And that's where that one ends, but the next one will pick up here with me finishing up the text. So I added in the text there, I selected the size. I think I ended up boldness on the final because when I printed it the first time, it was printed pretty thin, so it was hard to see. Kind of merged in, it kind of melted in. And so what I did, once I get all the text in here, is I couldn't cut through all the way because then there would be no place, the O's would just look like big holes. And so what I did is I just indented down there a little bit. You see that? I indented down in, but not all the way. So that way it would still be read, but it wouldn't extrude out. So it goes into itself a little bit there. By the end of that, I get all of those done, I believe. So basically I had an end result that looked something like that. And I'll show you. So after I finished this here in 123Design, this is what it looked like. And you can see how it's kind of indented there. And so what I had to do is I had to export that out, and I had to upload it in this app called Cube Print, which is the brand of our printer, so that it would print. And so this, I'm not connected to a printer right now, but this is what it is going to look like when you print it. This is the tray here, and so you click Build, and you can either save it to a file and put it on a jump drive, which is what I did, and then plug the jump drive right into the printer, or you can wirelessly print it, and you can select your layer and stuff, your resolution, and the density of it. Obviously, depends on how much material you want to use, and then how it fills, which is kind of interesting. You can fill it different ways. So that's basically what my project was, and that was kind of a step-by-step of how to make it. And if you guys are curious about 3D printing, I'd encourage you to use 123Design because it's user-friendly and it's easy. You just gotta watch some tutorials, which I'll include in the link in the description. But I think I had a lot of fun with it, and I enjoyed building what I did. So.